Hello, welcome to Light Inside Yoga. This is Nikki Sacriccia, and today we are doing a gentle style yoga class that will focus on the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Find a comfortable place to practice and grab a blanket or a bath towel. And if you have a block, feel free to grab that too, or you can always just roll up the blanket in lieu of a block. So grab your blanket or towel. You're going to open it into a large rectangle, smooth out any wrinkling. And then from the longer edge, you're going to fold it a third of the way in. Smooth out that long edge, and then flip it over and fold it back on itself. So you'll get this tri-fold or zigzag folded blanket. It will look like a long, thin rectangle. And once you have that all folded, you'll place that on your mat behind you, so it runs up and down the length of it. And this blanket will support the back of your spine and the back of your head. So take a seat with a few inches of space in between your body and the shorter edge of the blanket, and then carefully recline the body down on top. There'll be no support underneath your tailbone or your buttocks, and you might need to scooch and wiggle so that it feels more comfortable. We'll start with the feet on the floor, knees bent. And then take the arms either out wide or bent at the elbows with the back of the hands resting on the floor. It's important that your shoulders, elbows, and hands are actually grounded so there's no strain or stress through the shoulder joint. Take a moment to close your eyes. Become more settled into the physical practice. Let go of any tension around your eyes, the corners of your mouth. And now shift your focus from the body to your breath. Take a slow breath in through your nose, feeling for the lungs stretching and the ribcage expanding. Allow the exhale to be just as slow and mindful. Take a few more rounds of breath like this, starting to lengthen your inhale and your exhale. Take 2 more rounds of breath like this, allowing the lungs to fully stretch inside of your ribcage. Releasing all of the effort through your exhale. We'll change position slightly now. On your next exhale, roll to one side to come off of the blanket. Press yourself up, and then rotate the long blanket 90 degrees so that it goes across the top of your mat like a bed pillow. You'll lie back down, but make sure that the blanket is only beneath your skull and not beneath your neck. Make any intuitive adjustments so the rest of the body feels comfortable, and we'll keep the feet on the floor. Sense that all 4 sides of your neck are long, and that the chin hasn't dropped into the throat. Take a full breath in, feeling the inner body expand. And placing a hand on the belly, sense that as you exhale, your abdomen begins to deflate. Breathing in, the chest center inflates. And as you exhale, the abdomen sinks and deflates. Stay with this, feeling the breath as it moves the inner body. Full breath in, the chest center rises. And with a complete breath out, the belly center falls. Throughout the rest of this practice, you want to keep your breath just like this, very consistent and slow. And this allows the entire nervous system to become more relaxed. Let's add in some more movement. Allow the head to turn gently side to side, rolling the base of the skull along the edge of your blanket. Begin to recognize any feedback that the body gives you as you start to move. Any sensation, whether it's preferred or not, is worth noting. The next time your head turns to the right, pause there. Make sure that all four sides of the neck are still long and open and that the chin hasn't dropped into the throat. Then as you inhale, lift your left arm up and overhead. Breathing out, let the arm come down. The head is still turned. As you inhale, left arm reaches up and overhead. Breathing out, the arm comes back down. Pair this movement to your breath. Each inhale, the arm reaches gently up and over. Exhaling, it comes back down. Make sure that the front ribs don't lift as you reach the arm overhead. Inhale, the arm reaches up and over. And now turn the head through center as the arm comes down. Head rotates to the left, and we repeat on the other side. Right arm reaches up and over. And with the exhale, arm comes down by your side. It's normal for the two sides of the body to feel and act pretty differently. So if you're noticing that this side feels different or has less or more of a range of motion, nothing to be concerned about there. Now let's do both arms together. As you inhale, both arms reach overhead, and as you exhale, both arms come down. You'll move in time with your breath. Try not to rush this part. Take one more round. And now as you exhale, lift your knees in towards your body. Hands around the knees. And start to roll out your ankles, freeing up any tension that feels stuck in the joint space. Start to draw circles with the knees. One leg goes clockwise, counterclockwise, helping to hydrate the hips. Still holding on to the knees, exhale and pull the knees in towards your chest. As you inhale, let the knees move away from the belly, still holding with your hands. Each exhale, squeeze knees towards chest. Breathing in, the knees press forward. And then from here, you'll roll to your side. Rolling to your side is always better than sitting straight up. It tends to put less pressure on the front of your spine. So if the upper back and shoulders are chronically tight, this is a good habit for you to get into. Clear your mat and grab your block or fold that blanket one more time so it looks like a little padded rectangle. You'll place that object between your thighs and squeeze in, which helps to stabilize your lower back and your hip joints. It also encourages a deeper sense of core stability. So you're resting on your back, the knees are bent, feet and knees are the same distance apart, and every time you exhale, you're gently squeezing that block and allowing the belly to sink down. The next time you exhale, lift your hips by pressing down through your feet, coming into bridge pose. Stay in bridge pose for your inhale. And as you exhale, roll yourself down, dropping the back ribs first, and then the lower back, and then your buttocks. The belly should be engaged and drawn down. Inhale on your back. Exhaling, press through your feet and lift your hips. Stay in bridge pose for your inhale, filling and expanding your lungs. Roll down as you exhale, bone by bone. Every time you exhale, the belly shrinks down. It's important that you're not bulging the belly, which is a sign of over-efforting. Place your hand on your abdomen as you're rolling down, and you should feel the abdomen sinking away from the hand rather than flexing forward into it. Try to notice that on this next repetition. Take one more round like that. Breathe in on your back and exhale, rise. Now we'll add in the arm movement. Take a full breath in on your back, and as you exhale, reach the arms up and overhead. On empty, lift your hips. Deep breath in with the arms overhead. And as you exhale, roll your spine down, keeping the arms there. Inhale on your back. Exhale, rise. Deep breath in extended bridge pose. Exhale, roll down, articulating the spine and squeezing your block. Inhale on the back. Press through the feet, squeeze through the thighs, and lift. Full breath in, breathe wide through the ribs. Exhale with control through the belly, lower down. Release your arms and remove your block. Next, we'll release the tension in the back of the legs. Raise the left leg up and hold the back of it with both hands. As you exhale, bend the knee with your foot flexed. Breathing in, straighten the leg. As you exhale, slowly bend, pointing your foot. Breathing in, flex your foot and straighten your leg. Slow exhale to repeat, bend your knee, point your foot at the bottom. Breathing in, flex your foot and straighten your leg back up. Do this again on your own. Feel the connection between your knee, your ankle, and your toes, freeing up any tension held in the joint. Try the other side. Holding the back of your right leg, bend your knee with your foot flexed. As you inhale, straighten your leg. Breathing out, slowly bend the knee and point your foot at the bottom. Take 2 more. Notice any feedback that the body gives you as you continue to move it. Every movement gets a breath. Roll out the ankle if it feels stiff, and then bring both feet to the floor and roll to your side. So now you're going to stay on your side. Grab your block, place it between your knees to keep tension out of the lower back and hips. Make any intuitive adjustments you need to feel comfortable. And then raise the top arm up and start to draw huge circles with it. Reach the arm overhead, behind you, down the side of your hip, and in front of your body. Try not to use momentum, but instead connect to the gliding action of your rotator cuff. Reverse directions, possibly finding a different range of motion or pathway of movement here. Now bring your fingertips onto the top of your shoulder and draw those same spirals with your elbow. Rotate in both directions. Make sure your torso isn't wobbling back and forth. Take a couple more loops. And then slide the forearm behind your back, readjusting the neck as needed. Keep the shoulder rolled open as if to stretch your collarbone longer and wider. Remember to breathe here. If it feels comfortable in your shoulder, reach the arm all the way overhead towards the ground just above your head. Deeply breathe into the side rib cage. And as you exhale, release, rolling onto your back and then switching sides. Make sure that you're on the side of your body so your hips are stacked, knees are stacked, and your shoulders are one on top of the other. Once you're in position, take the top arm all the way up, spreading open your fingers. Begin those big shoulder spirals. Honor that this shoulder might feel very different from the other, and to work within a range of motion that feels comfortable. Sometimes as we work out the tension and inflexibility in this part of the body, you can hear clicking or popping, and that's pretty normal so long as it's not followed by pain. Take a few more big loops like this, trying to challenge the range of motion, even if just by a few millimeters. Now bring your fingertips to the shoulder and draw that same spiraling pathway with your elbow tip. Make sure the torso isn't rocking back and forth. This way you're isolating the movement right into the shoulder where we want it. Rotate in both directions. Now take the forearm behind your back. The palm will turn out. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades together so the collarbone widens out. Take deep breaths here. The pose helps to stretch the outer surface of the body, and our deep, conscious breath helps to expand the inner body. You may even get some natural adjustments in the rib cage or the upper spine here. Next inhale, reach the arm all the way up and overhead, maybe even touching the floor beyond the crown of your skull. Take a deep breath into the side rib cage. Now you're going to roll all the way into fetal pose, releasing the block between the thighs. And then rise all the way up and over onto all fours. From here, you'll set up into table position. Hands are as wide as your shoulders, knees and ankles as wide as your hips. Bring your spine to neutral so it looks basically flat. Draw the shoulder blades gently together. And we'll begin to move through cat and cow. As you exhale, round your back. And as you inhale, arch your back. Knees stay under the hips, hands stay under your shoulders. Exhale, round in, pressing the back of the spine above you. And breathing in, arching the spine. Reach the chest forward and the head high. Exhale, rounding in, puffing up between your shoulder blades. Arching forward as you inhale, pulling the sternum in front of you. Begin to undulate your spine, moving from the lower back and feeding that movement all the way up through your neck, rounding through the lower back, middle back, upper back, arching from the lower back, middle back, upper back. The last thing to move is the head. Continue on your own for a couple more rounds. Refine neutral, keeping the arms straight. Exhale and squeeze your shoulder blades together, creating a divot in the upper back. As you inhale, push the shoulder blades apart. These are called shoulder blade push-ups. You're not moving the spine at all. Squeeze together as you exhale. Press the shoulder blades apart as you inhale. Let that go and retreat into child's pose for a moment. Separate the knees wide apart. Drop your buttocks towards your heels. And take a couple deep grounding breaths, noticing how all of this movement is beginning to integrate. Next, inhale, rise up onto all fours. Take any extra movement just to get recentered in your own way. Rolling the spine, rolling out your shoulders, whatever feels good and intuitive. We'll meet back at center in table pose. We'll prepare now for puppy pose. You'll want to grab your block and place it between the upper thighs again to protect your lower back. Squeeze in diligently and keep the knees directly under your hips this whole time. Then start to walk your hands out in front of you. And without bending the spine or dumping through the lower back, reach forward through the arms. They'll look like diagonals. Keep the belly drawn in so the core helps to stabilize the lower back. Draw the chin towards the throat to create length through the sides and back of the neck. Continue to breathe deeply here, making sure that the belly doesn't disengage. Squeeze into the block, especially if this is challenging for you. Eventually, the forehead might touch the ground, but don't force it to go there. To come out, squeeze the block and lift your chest. Then lower to your forearms so the elbows are shoulder distance apart. As you inhale, slide forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Squeeze the block as you draw backwards. Inhale, slide forward. Exhale, slide back. Try not to move your spine. Instead, find the gliding action within your rotator cuff. Try it one more time. And as you glide back, think about that pose we just did. Lean your hips back, stacking hips over knees. You're still on your elbows, and now you're angling your spine down. It's like puppy pose, but on your forearms instead. Breathe deeply. And then as you exhale, squeeze your block to come back up. We'll come into a set of postures called twisted child's pose next. From hands and knees, tuck your left arm underneath and behind your right arm. The palm is facing up. Lean forward until you're balanced on the outer edge of your shoulder. Your knees are still right under your hips. Left hand is basically in line with your forehead. Come back up and switch sides. Right arm tucks underneath and behind your left. You're in a twist and you're standing on your knees. I'll show you from the front side as well. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, tuck the left arm behind the right. Breathing in, come back up. Exhale, side two, right arm tucks under. Inhale, push up. So we'll move like this now. Twist as you exhale. Release as you inhale. Second side. Inhale, center. Continue moving back and forth, one breath at a time, twisting and untwisting. This action helps to not only stabilize your hips, but to twist the sides of the spine. Hold the next time your right arm is tucked under, and extend the left arm way out in front of you, fingertips on the floor. You'll get a big opening through the left side of the shoulder and rib cage. To come out, walk the hand in line with your face, back up onto all fours. Try the other side. Twisted child's pose. Once you've landed on the outer arm, walk the left arm straight ahead, opening through the left side of the body and the left underside of your shoulder blade. To come out, left hand goes in line with your head, press down to lift up. Then remove your block. Return to all fours, and then make your way onto your belly. If it's comfortable on your nose and neck, bring your forehead to the floor. Otherwise, turn your head to the side, and then when we lift, you can always rotate your head through center. The hands are in line with your chest, your shoulders are rolled back, and your toes are pointed. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, peel the forehead and ribs up off the floor. The shoulders are completely lifted. Lower slowly, keeping the shoulders away from the ground. Try it again. Breathing in, slowly lift. Front ribs and head rise. And then exhale, slowly lower without letting the tops of the shoulders dump down. It's different than lifting your head and then pulling the chest off the ground. That causes too much extension in the neck and can lead to injury. Imagine lifting from the back of your shoulders rather than lifting from your chin. When you're using the correct muscles, you can float your hands off the ground without any problem. Lengthen through the sides of your neck. And constantly reach out through the length of your legs. Stay in cobra pose for another breath. And breathing out carefully, lower down. Release the shoulders for a moment. Let the arms rest down next to your sides, really letting the shoulders spill forward. Have the palms on the ground. Next time you inhale, roll the shoulders up, but keep the head down. Then as you exhale, lift your shoulders, lift your head. Lift one arm and the opposite leg. Breathe deeply and slowly here as we start to contract the posture muscles. Breathe out to release your body, turning your head to the side. Take a deep breath in to recover. We'll do the other side. Breathing in, roll your shoulders away from the ground. As you exhale, lift your chest, neck, and head. Opposite arm and opposite leg rise. Create length more than height, so the spine is always decompressing. As you exhale, gently release the body back to the floor. Take 1 or 2 deep breaths to recover, slowing down the heart rate. Next time you exhale, lift the chest, neck, and head. Lift both legs, and eventually both arms, coming into full locust pose. Spread all the fingers and toes, and actively reach the body long. If it's comfortable in your shoulders, turn your palms open to expand the chest. Breathe out to come back down. Then bend your knees and wag the legs side to side to loosen out any tension that got caught in the hips. Draw big ovals with both feet going in the same direction, massaging through the hips and lower back. Release the legs. Slide the hands up in line with your chest, bringing the forehead back to the floor. Carefully roll yourself all the way up. Come into table pose. Take any extra movement you need through the neck or shoulders, and then find your way onto your seat. Make sure that your spine is long, that you're not rounding backwards with the knees hiked up into the air. But sometimes this happens. And so if that's the case in your body, grab your block, put it underneath your seat so that your hips sit higher than your knees. You want your thighs to look like they're on a downward slant, which helps to align your pelvis. Then you can stack your spine and your head upright. If crisscrossing the legs doesn't work for your feet or knees, you could try kneeling instead. You could set the block right in between your heels, placing your sits bones right on top. Make sure the inner ankles are squeezing together and preventing the spine from rounding. Ground in through your butt bones. And lift all the way up from the space between your shoulder blades, all the way up through the back of the skull. And even pull those 2 points in opposite directions. Find your vertical. Then drop your left ear to your left shoulder without lifting your left shoulder towards your ear. Extend the right arm out to your side with the palm turned open, allowing the right collarbone to stay wide. Breathe slowly here. This can be a chronically tight area for many people. Soften through your jaw and relax your tongue. Slowly turn your head so the chin faces your left shoulder, changing the angle in the right side of your neck. Continue to explore tiny little movements, adjusting to feel where the tension is bound in the chest, the top of the shoulder, or the side of the neck. Then roll your head down the middle and release the right hand back to your lap. Let's try the other side. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder without hiking the right shoulder up. Release the left arm to your side with the palm turned open, and make sure that the spine is still erect. Breathe slowly. Begin to rotate the chin towards the shoulder, finding a different angle of sensation. You can continue to explore on your own. Each micro movement is going to resonate differently in the body, depending on where you hold your tension. Take just another moment. And take a full, slow breath in. And a complete, slow breath out. Roll the head through center and release the left hand. Taking any extra little movement so that you feel complete and integrated. As you inhale, roll the shoulders up towards your ears, and as you exhale, shrug them down. Breathing in, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, release them down. Let the chin fall to the throat, and as you hike the shoulders up, lift your head. Then keep your head up as you roll the shoulders down. Release whatever you're sitting on, unless this causes binding in your shoulders. Then you want to find your collarbones, and right underneath your collarbones is muscle. Push your fingers right into the muscle underneath your collarbone and then drag down. It's really similar to when you try to stretch out the wrinkling in your t-shirt. Bring fingertips right to the muscle underneath your collarbone, push in and stretch down. Then jut your chin forward so you have an underbite. You're pulling your fingers away from your chin or your chest muscles, away from your chin muscles. Lift the chin up slowly as you constantly pull the fingers down, and then slowly turn your head side to side. Your chin is lifted and jutted forward, starting to stretch out the muscle underneath the jaw and along the front of your throat and chest. This can be a really sensitive area of the body, so stay mindful of your breath and make sure that you don't hold it no matter what sensation you feel. If you tilt the head to one side, pull down on the opposite side of your chest. You can play with rotating the head, ear toward shoulder, or chin toward shoulder to explore through the different muscular layers that connect our head to our body. Feel free to linger in the places that are more sensitive or tender. When you release, let the head roll down through the middle. Relax your throat. Take a deep breath in, and then repeat it. Use the fingers to pull the skin and muscle of the chest down against your ribs. Jut the chin forward and lift your chin up slightly. Then slowly turn your head, exploring through the other side of the neck, feeling for places of tension and bringing the ease and calm of your breath to those tense places. Think of this like a yogi facelift. Take your time exploring this area, keeping your spine upright and your breath deep. When you're ready to release, roll the head down through the center, releasing your hands, taking any extra movement you need to allow all of that deep tension to release. Let's take an easy twist here. Rotate your upper body to the left, bringing your right hand behind your back, your left hand to your knee. And then switch. Rotate to the right. And on your exhale, come back through center. Let's move now onto the back. Feel free to take that blanket we used earlier underneath the back of the head. Let the arms rest next to your sides. Make any intuitive adjustments to your hips, shoulders. Then extend the legs down, moving into corpse pose, or bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop open if you want to do a little extra release work through the inner hip and groin area. Once you feel that the body can settle quietly, turn your focus to your breath. Bring a hand over your chest and one over the belly, especially if you find it hard to stay focused. And then start to really slow down the breath so that as you inhale, you can feel the chest and the belly rise up into your hands. Take a slow exhale, feeling the body naturally contract to release the air pressure. Take a few calm, deep, slow breath cycles like this, allowing the nervous system to calm down, allowing all of the muscular effort to be released, the tension in the mind to learn and follow instructions to become more soft. The area of the body that we focused on today coordinates with our sense of relationship, our ability to speak our truth, say what we mean. Notice how this practice in total is resonating in your body. What thoughts or idea have arisen while you've practiced? Take the next few moments on your own to let everything, body, mind, and energy, become more grounded and settled. Feel free to stay here as long as you like, or if you're ready to move on, bend your knees and roll to your side into fetal pose. Remembering to use your hands to press yourself upright. And if you're finishing with me right now, come up to sit, lifting your spine tall, and taking a few deep centering breaths before moving on with the rest of your day. And as you leave the practice, moving back into your life, remember the alignment of the chest, neck, and head. Thanks for your practice, and namaste.